All right, so how to hire a contractor. It's two things that people bitch about in real estate investing nonstop, which is how to find a good deal and how to hire a contractor. But you know what? Frankly, cry me a river, because who said it was going to be easy to make a pile of money, right? I mean, if it was that easy to find a deal and hire a contractor, we would just make our money and then be retired and never go to meetings, and that would be it. But those are the two linchpins of our business. It's the most important part of our business, and that's why it's the most difficult. Good contractors are like finding a good woman. Right? You go ahead, you can insert the man in there if you like ladies, right? The problem is that, when trying to find a perfect woman, you've been watching way too much porn, right? And so that your expectations are way out of whack, right? And by expectations, I mean, watching the house flipping porn where they finish in like a week or so, and they come in on budget and all these other things. And so that's not reality, right? Even they call it reality TV. And so, stop having those things, So they always say, pick two of them, good, fast, or cheap. But we want all three. Not only that, but there are more than those three, right? There's like honest, there's punctual, there's they take a shower, they don't work for 5 other people at the same time, on and on. But look, I'm not really talking about like finding a roof contractor, a HVAC or a plumber or everything. Those guys are actually relatively easy to find, because they're trades and they're contractors. You can ask for references to get those guys, and roofers as well. You can ask for references, and they all, you got to figure out what they charge by, right? So an HVAC guy is going to charge for the ductwork. He's going to charge for per ton for the unit and installation and all those type of things. A plumber is going to charge by the fixture. And so once you figure out how they charge, then you can kind of figure out like if they're within your budget or not. And you can really pretty much interview people on the phone. And so those guys, while you're still going to have problems with those guys, you're not going to have nearly the problems that you're going to have with, the guy that's the toughest to find. And that's the contractor quarterback, right? The quarterback that hires all these guys, the guy that actually puts everything together, the carpenter or whatever you want to call him, he's the guy that makes it all come together, that runs the show for you. Unfortunately, there's no silver bullet on how to get this done. You have to, just like dating, you have to kiss a lot of contractors, to find the right one, and eventually you'll get an STD. You'll still find, and then when you do find the right one, you're going to mess that up. You're going to mess that relationship up because you've been abused the whole time anyways. So just like finding, a good mate there's going to be all sorts of different ways, right? So I know you're coming here expecting me to say, well, look, just go on Craigslist. You skip down to the 4th page, and that's the guy you want. It doesn't work that way. I don't necessarily have to tell you how to go find them, right? You can get references from people, but frankly, if you ask me for a reference for my contractor, I'm going to tell you to go pound sand, right? Because I don't need him getting more calls from you guys, right? So necessarily getting references from your investors isn't always necessarily going to happen, right? Because why are they referring their moneymaker? Because just like the good deals are to find, why is somebody going to tell you where they find all their deals? Those are the two things that makes us money. But you can get referrals for roofers and other contractors and stuff like that. So the idea is to cast a wide net, right? The best thing that I can do for you is to change your mindset on what a contractor is and who they are. The idea is that, no, they are difficult to find. You just don't pick up the phone. You just don't hire the first one that you come across. So once you realize that they are difficult to find, that they are the chupacabra, whatever that little monster thing that runs around in Latin America, you know that guy, right? Once you find out that they are difficult to find, then you know that, hey, I need to take my time and cast a wide net and interview and to find this right person. The guy that you want has zero marketing budget, right? That makes them so difficult to find, right? The guy, like my HVAC guy, right? He has no business cards. He's proud of that fact, right? I'm like, dude, that's why you're my HVAC guy, because you don't have a business cards. As soon as like a nice truck pulls up with like signs and stuff on the thing, I'm like, dude, this isn't going to work out. You need to just hit the road, you know, because if they actually like advertise, you know, whether it be with a nice shirt or a nice van or something where they actually care about their business and the marketing and stuff like that, they're just going to be way too expensive, okay? You know, because I don't have the budget to pay for your business cards. So that's the guy you want, which makes them more difficult to find. It's kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears, right? The porridge is too hot, too cold, and just right. So that's what you want in your contractor, and that's what you want in a contractor's truck. So this is how my first impression or my judgment of the thing is. One is that I don't want the broke down truck, right? You know, where, you know, it might not show up next week, and I don't want the super duper truck with the nice lettering and you got the huge lease payment and everything else like that. Just pretend like that's a contractor's truck, because apparently my Pakistani didn't understand what I meant. But anyways, so you want something in between, you know, something like this, you know, it's like reliable, good, you know, it's a little bit messy, you know, but that's going to get to where you want to be. A good, solid, reliable thing. The other tip is when he says that he doesn't have the tools, run. If you don't have the tools, I mean, if you're in the business, I don't care what you are, you got the tools, right? And as a matter of fact, I have the tools because I've hired those guys. Here's your Jedi tip. I know you want one Jedi tip, I give you one Jedi tip. You can go online, right, and you can pull up, online has public records of who the contractors are, right? So you drive around the area that you're working, and no, I'm not going to give you the link to it because, you know, Google's your friend, right? So you go online permitting system, the county that you live in, Mecklenburg, whatever it is. It's generally online. It definitely is in Mecklenburg. You can pull up to see who the contractor is and who their subs are. And then you can go and see their work and everything else like this. This way you don't have to ask your investor friends who they are because you just pull it up. You're like, oh, you hired Bob too? Oh, I saw that you hired Bob. How was he? You know, and so then you can, you know, pretend like that way, right? So go online. Remember, slow to hire, quick to fire, right? So if they don't show up, you know, like especially like the first day, you know, if they say they're going to be there Wednesday, and if they're not there Wednesday, and there's no call, there's no explanation or anything like that, they're gone. Like that's the first impression, right? Now, once you get to know each other, they're not going to show up on you because they got better things to do. I mean, that's just the way that it goes, and you may or may not get a call. You know, so there can be some leeway there, right? But you know, your first day out of the gate, when you see that first warning sign, right? You know, then you know that they're not a good match. Here's some warning signs that you can look for. Can start now, right now. I'll start tomorrow. And you know that is so good. That is awesome, right? But just like the woman that sleeps with you on the first date, right? It's going to be awesome for the first week or two, but it's not going to last. You know, that's not the long-term thing that you want, right? You know, so no, you don't want them to start right now because they just got fired off their last job or who knows what the case may be. Talks like he's the all-star. He is the best thing in the whole world, you know, because the other guy just did all sorts of stuff, didn't work out, and he knows how to do it. Not only does he know how to do carpentry, he can do tile. He's going to tell you how to install the windows right, how to do the HVAC right, the electric. It's going to go on. And frankly, anytime you talk to him, you're going to have to interrupt him when he talks about how great he is. He keeps telling you how shitty your house is. Yeah, duh. I know it's shitty. That's why you're here to fix it up. I don't need you telling me how they screwed up everything and how terrible it is because I know it's shitty, you know, but they keep harping on that stuff. So that makes them feel better. That means they're a shitty contractor. He keeps talking about your profit. Like that even comes up in a conversation. Like, you know, maybe it's in a casual type of a thing, you know, okay, how much you're going to buy it, how much you're going to sell it, you know, and I don't care. I'll tell anybody because they're going to eventually find out or whatever. And, you know, it doesn't impact me anyways. But if they keep coming back to that, oh, don't worry, you know, mine's going to be $40,000 and you're going to still make money or whatever. You know, when they keep coming back to that, you know, like you ever like try to like lead them like we're not really talking about that. I gave you the basic information, but we're not really talking about like all this profit and your money and stuff like that. So if they keep coming back to that, they need to hit the road. Has any kind of religious symbolism on his business card or sales pitch? I mean, you're just asking for trouble, right? I know that Jesus was a carpenter, but when he went to go like get a job and stuff, he didn't talk about his dad. Just didn't. Didn't work like that. Talks a shit about other contractors' work, right? Oh, this is the biggest headache for me because I have never worked out like, there's ways to talk about like better ways to do things or stuff like that without constantly tearing down the other person down, right? So they can talk about how they're going to do better on things or how things should be done, but if they keep going back to the fact that this guy sucks, whoever did this or whatever, it's going to be a nightmare for you eventually. Thinks he's the master of everything. I already kind of covered this a little bit, but yeah, the guy that wants to do everything, I once had a guy, I said, look, this is all that I need done or whatever, I just want you to manage it or do whatever, this and that, I want to understand what you're good at. He's like, no, I'll do everything. I'll do the tile for you, I'll do the trim, I'll do the painting and everything else like this. I was like, I don't think you understood. I want to know what you're good at. What do you like to do? Oh, I do everything. I do the tile, I do the painting, I do the carpentry and everything else like that. You know what? I didn't call him back. I'm not even going to go through that conversation because if you're a contractor, if you do this job, then you know what you're good at and you know what you like to do, right? So you don't have to be desperate to do everything. And not only that, but I've never hired anybody that does everything and it work out and they do a good job. This is slightly different if you're doing a rental house, but I'm talking about a retail house, right? Is allergic to pulling permits. I pull permits on all of my jobs. Here's why, right? Because A, I want somebody to double check their work, right? And B, I'm going to resell this house. So when I resell this house, if the realtor that's selling the house is worth half of what they're getting paid, they're going to check to make sure the permits are pulled. If the permits are not pulled, then they're going to have a problem with that, right? Not only that, but then I have nightmares, right? I've already lost it once. I don't want to lose it again, right? So I don't want to like wake up to like a house fire like 5 years down the road and then somebody realize that I never pulled permits, right? So I want to pull permits. It's just the easiest thing in the world. Here's what you do want. You want somebody with no marketing. You want a manager guy. You want somebody that's very comfortable with subbing out, right? Because anytime that I deal with somebody and they don't want to sub it out, I got problems, right? Because I want somebody that wants to sub it out. And I want somebody that's financially responsible, right? So if they're wanting for me to give them a large check up front, it's not going to happen. I want them to be at least, see, contractors are going to be somewhat worrisome, right? Because they've been stiffed in the past, right? But I'll tell them, look, you show up on day one with the materials, I'll give you a check for your materials, okay? So that way you're not stretched out. But I'm not going to give you money to go down to Home Depot. If you don't have room on your credit card or anything like that to go buy the materials to start the job, then go find somebody else to screw over. I do want somebody with a contractor's license for the retail jobs, or I need somebody to be able to pull the permits. And I do, the way that I've worked out now, the contractors I have, is I like the contractors that do their own flips, because they understand the math, they understand the budgets, they understand that type of a thing. And then I want somebody that's worked with investors before.